Welcome to the New in Lynchburg podcast, the podcast that's dedicated to helping you get the most out of this great city, Lynchburg, Virginia. You'll get highlights on upcoming events, interviews with interesting people. You'll learn more about local nonprofits, and we'll keep you connected to all the new things going on in Lynchburg. Here are your hosts, Josh and Ray.
Welcome to the New in Lynchburg podcast. I'm Ray Gonzalez, along with my co-host, Josh Rose, and we are New in Lynchburg.
This podcast is sponsored by newinlynchburg.com, your source for all things Lynchburg. If you're looking for upcoming events, local deals, things to do, all in the Lynchburg area, make sure you check out newinlynchburg.com.
So, Josh, this week is the week of Thanksgiving and is one of my favorite holidays. Christmas is probably first, Easter's up there, but I definitely love me some Thanksgiving.
So you like turkey, right?
So I was talking before, and I told Josh I don't really love turkey. I love the other stuff. I love the mashed potatoes and the creamed corn and all the pies and everything like that. And it's not that I don't like turkey. It's not my favorite part of Thanksgiving.
Now, you were over at my house recently, and I smoked a turkey. Did you eat any of that?
I did. It's not that I don't like turkey. It's just that it's not my favorite thing about Thanksgiving. I can, honestly, if it wasn't there, I would still have a great time because I would be eating the ham and all the fixings and all that stuff. So I would have just as much fun.
Well, I will take your turkey, and I'll just give you some stuffing. We'll trade. So Thanksgiving, we have a lot of fond memories of the holidays with family and giving back, and even strangers coming over for Thanksgiving. Maybe they didn't have a place to go. What are some of your favorite memories from Thanksgiving?
I have a really big family on Long Island, and back home, all my cousins, all my aunts and uncles, siblings, we'd all go over my grandparents' house, and we would just eat like crazy. Everybody would bring pies. My grandmother would be cooking for days, and it was just a great time for me growing up. But I really loved after we ate, we would go outside and we'd play football. So all my uncles and everybody, and we'd have to pull them out, to play. But we would go and we'd play football, two-hand touch in the backyard for hours, and fall, crisp day, falling into leaves. It was one of my favorite memories. But growing up, once I was an adult, I now know why I had to really coax my uncles to come out, because after you eat, you just want to sit on the couch and watch football and go to sleep.
We want to take a nap.
Yeah, exactly. So that was something that I definitely I knew why they were doing that all those years. So
now, unlike you, I did not have a big family. All my cousin would come over.
All my cousin?
I only have one cousin, but we would get together for the holidays. We were pretty close. And one year, my sister decided we were going to make hand turkeys. Have you ever done those?
No.
So you trace your hand out with crayons, or cut it out with construction paper, however you want to do it. We just use crayons, and we decided we were each going to make a hand turkey and then display them all. So everyone was doing it. And of course, we're all teenagers and adults at this point. I think the youngest person was 17. So even my grandmother was doing it, and we all made our hand turkeys. Middle sister, hers was all arty, and cool and hip. Some of them were just kind of funny. And then we get to my grandmother's, and hers was Esmeralda headed to the slaughter, and it was a depressed.
That's a morbid
turkey.
Grandma.
Yeah, and I'm way to ruin Thanksgiving, Grandma.
Wow.
Now, did your family ever do the thing where you go around the table and everyone says what they're thankful for?
Yeah, I think we did that. We definitely prayed beforehand, and we would talk throughout the day. I don't know if it's so many people. I don't know if we did everybody has 30 seconds kind of thing, but we definitely had the right perspective about it. So
I remember always thinking I hope they don't say what I'm going to say, because then I can't think of another.
I have to have three things so I don't. Yeah. Somebody doesn't take mine.
I don't want to go last. That kind of leads us into giving back. It's kind of nice. We both have kids, and it's kind of nice to think about different ways to give back to community or whatever. What are some of the ways that you and your family give back?
So we definitely try to instill in our kids that it's not always about them. Kids are naturally selfish, and they're in their own little world. So we try to teach our girls. We have a 6 and a 3-year-old. So we try to teach them, that it's important for us to be looking outward to other people. So we do have 2 little girls that we support through World Vision, and that's one way that we do that globally. And we wanted to do something more local with them, so we decided to take them to nursing homes. Old people love to see the girls. They just love it. So it's a great way for them to say, hey, maybe they don't have anybody to visit them. They're lonely. We want to be able to bring them some joy. So that's one of the things that we do locally.
Yeah, that's awesome. Something that we've done with our kids is kids get so much stuff now, and family gives them all these toys and presents, and they just accumulate, so much stuff. And so what we've done with our kids before is is have them think of things to donate, that other people could use, or that the money could go to something else. So if they've got, 50 stuffed animals, take a chunk of those. All right, fill this box up. You need to get rid of 5, or something like that. Kids don't have money. They've got, a couple dollars here and there, but they don't really have money, but they have that attachment with their stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's something we'll take it, and then they themselves take it like to Goodwill or donate it. Goodwill, that's who we're going to have on today, and that's definitely a good way to give back, is just stuff. It doesn't cost you any money. It cleans things out. Now, a lot of people have misperceptions about Goodwill.
Right.
What are some of those, Ray?
Well, I think the first thing is that sometimes people just think about the stores. I can go into a store and I can find some things that are pretty cheap, when I need it. Or I can also donate some things that I want to get rid of or I don't need anymore. So I think that's the first thing that people think of. And I know that there's a lot more that Goodwill does that people just don't think about.
Yeah, I know some of the things that I've heard that I know aren't true is like all it is the stores, or all the people that they help just work in the store, and that's it. Or, the only thing you can do is just donate like old clothes, and that's it. There's so many things that are kind of misperceptions about all kinds of nonprofits, but, Goodwill. And so today we're going to try to address some of those.
Yeah, we wanted to have Goodwill come on the podcast to share all the things that they're offering to the community. So today we have on the show Treney Tweedy from Goodwill. And Treney is the Senior Director for Workforce and Community Engagement at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys.
So Treney, she's a native Lynchburgian, so she's from the area. She's represented Goodwill in this the Lynchburg community for past 4.5 years. And she just shares a lot of the information about Goodwill's programs throughout the whole Region 2000 area. And that's Amherst, Appomattox, Bedford, Campbell, and of course the city of Lynchburg.
Treney, thanks so much for being on the New in Lynchburg podcast.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. I'm excited.
For sure. I'm glad you were able to join us and listen to some of our Thanksgiving stories.
Yeah.
So with Goodwill, when people think about Goodwill, it's a lot of times they just think of the store. And that's kind of the whole perception they have is just the store, like donating it or going in. And that's kind of where their vision of it begins and stops. But there's a lot more that goes on with it than that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Goodwill?
Thanks. Yes, Goodwill is absolutely a great place to shop, but you're correct. That is just a small part of what Goodwill provides to the community. At Goodwill, our mission is to help youth, adults, and seniors who have disabilities, disadvantages, and those that need assistance finding a job or a better job to receive the training they need so they may achieve their greatest level of independence. So imagine you have worked for a company for 20 years and suddenly it closes. Your skills may not be as marketable in today's job market. So where we come in, Goodwill is able to provide training and employment programs to help people obtain the skills they need to be competitive, but also to provide opportunities to enter fields where they can build upon their current skills and continue to grow. For us, technology and healthcare are examples of fields in our area that provide the opportunity for growth.
So let me ask you this. Do all of the people that Goodwill help, do they all work in the stores?
That is actually a common misconception about Goodwill. While there are some people working in our stores that have come through Goodwill programs, for the most part, the answer is no. Last year, Goodwill placed more than 100 people into jobs in the Lynchburg area, and many of those were with other community employers.
Okay.
Well, that's impressive because I, know many people that just thought it kind of started and ended with the stores. So
Exactly.
It's kind of nice to know that that's really not the focus. Now, Goodwill, they're impacting a lot of lives of the people in our area through these kinds of programs. Tell us a little bit more about these programs and kind of what Goodwill offers.
You're exactly right. In 2016, Goodwill served more than 6,900 people in Lynchburg and surrounding areas through training and employment programs. There's so much pride and dignity and self-respect that comes from working. So think about when you meet someone. What's the first question you're often asked? Where do you work or what do you do?
That's true.
So if you don't have a response to these questions, it can be devastating, not only to your ability to provide for your basic needs, but also to your self-esteem. So again, we are working with youth, adults, and seniors with barriers to employment, whether they have a disability, are on a low income, or need to advance their skills so they can find employment. Goodwill programs can help them find a pathway to a more secure future.
That's great.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned earlier that Goodwill offers training programs. So tell us about some of the programs, some of the training that you guys offer.
That's right. We really work with individuals and meet them where they are. So what that means is someone may need help with foundational skills such as reading, writing, and math. We can help them build those skills so they are ready to enter more advanced training. Or someone may be a certified nursing assistant and have a goal to become a registered nurse. We work with individuals that have a vision of a better life for themselves and help them discover how they can make that a reality. It may be that we provide the training, or we could connect them with training through one of our partners, but it is our goal to help individuals achieve their greatest potential.
I didn't know that you guys actually were able to have other people that you partner with to connect with, because maybe some of the people that you guys have don't have the skills that the person's looking for, so you're able to partner with other agencies or other training people that can actually help the person if you're unable to. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yes.
Now, does that include like an assessment of skills?
Where we take them where they are, we do assessments if they're coming to our programs. If they are partnering with other workforce programs or workforce and career development programs, they have individual assessments that folks will take. And so that will assess their reading skills, their math skills. Training programs these days require a certain skill level. And so that's so that they want the individuals participating to be successful. And so we try to give them that greatest opportunity for success.
Yeah, make sure they're a good fit for the program, and that's going to work for them. That's awesome. Now, I heard that there's a newer training program that Goodwill's doing, something to do with IT or computer technology. What is that program, and who can do that?
Yes, our Goodwill is actually providing technology training through a program called Careers in Technology. Goodwill Industries International received a federal tech hire grant, and we were chosen as one of the Goodwills to provide the training. The program helps individuals age 17 and older who are unemployed, underemployed, dislocated, and incumbent workers to gain the skills needed to have a career in the technology field. In as little as 8 weeks, individuals who qualify for the program receive skills, training, and the opportunity to earn industry-recognized credentials to get their career started on the right foot. The program provides financial assistance for tuition, books, and exam fees. Individuals also benefit from job readiness and soft skills training, as well as job placement assistance. And after completing the program, those who participate will be perfect candidates for jobs such as help desk technicians and network administrators.
Now, I'm assuming if someone's listening to this and they think they might be a candidate for that program, really the website is probably the best way to find out about that. But yeah, that sounds like an excellent program.
Yeah, so as I'm hearing all these, I'm thinking, so basically the money that is earned from all the stores helps support these programs that Goodwill offers to the community. Is that right?
That's correct. But the stores provide critical dollars to support these job training and employment programs. Some funding does come from grants as well as federal and state dollars. However, these dollars are often restricted to specific usages. So, for example, someone may receive certifications through a grant-funded program. Goodwill subsequently is able to help them with the job search assistance and provide supportive services such as assisting them with funding to purchase necessary equipment to start a job. It is these wraparound services and support that Goodwill can provide because people choose to shop and donate.
That's really exciting because a lot of people don't realize, sometimes someone may not have enough resources to do it. So even if the training is free, maybe they need a little bit more help than that. So I think that's great that Goodwill can do that. Now, something that a lot of people don't know about Goodwill is they also do a lot of work with people who've been incarcerated. Now, it's really hard once someone has that on their record to get a good job. So what is Goodwill specifically doing for those people?
Well, we are very proud of our work with individuals who may have a criminal background. They may have a past, but they deserve to have a future as well, is what we believe. But we all know that finding a job is hard, even with the best of circumstances. Add a criminal background, and it can often seem impossible for those individuals. At Goodwill, individuals with a criminal history who want to work are assisted with preparing to go to work and maintaining regular employment. The program provides a roadmap for participants to achieve a long-term goal of remaining attached to the legitimate workforce and maintaining their freedom. They receive job readiness education, job search support, interview coaching, resume development, and help to identify other community resources available to assist with successful return to the community, and often transitional employment opportunities to establish a positive work history. Something that many people may not realize is that our prisoner reentry program is also funded through the generosity of our customers in the retail stores who choose to round up their purchase to the next dollar amount.
So when I buy something at Goodwill, I have the opportunity to do that, I assume.
Yes, because the cashier will say, would you like to round up? And that's what that means. And those dollars and cents go toward the program, the prisoner reentry program.
And we know that statistically, somebody that does end up being in the system is more likely to return to the system. So we want to make sure that we're providing those services to those people so that they are able to get back into society and be good citizens in the community. So that's really important.
Correct.
Yeah, it's kind of that cycle, and you think about it, maybe they get out and they don't really end up back in prison, but maybe they end up needing social services that they could provide for themselves if someone gave them the opportunity. So I think that's great.
Yeah, it definitely is. So for people who might be new to the Lynchburg area and surrounding counties, where are I know there's a lot of them. Where are the Goodwill stores located in this area?
Well, we have 6 stores in the area. In Lynchburg, we have one on Ward Road, one on Timberlake Road, and one on Old Forest Road near Walmart. There is one in Madison Heights, and in Bedford County, there is one in Forest and in Bedford, also near Walmart.
All right. Now, which one is your favorite store? No, I'm just kidding. So are all the stores the same? Like, is each one identical?
All of the stores in the Lynchburg area are traditional Goodwill stores. However, each has its own personality. Remember that a Goodwill store receives its inventory from the generosity of the local community and those who choose to donate. Most of the time, people frequent the same donation center out of habit and convenience. So you will find different styles and tastes at each store location.
So you pretty much, if you don't find something you're looking for in the Goodwill that's closest to you, you can always try another one, right? You
can always try another one.
Now, you do sometimes shuffle merchandise around. Like, I know they have outlets, so definitely just shop all the Goodwills, You never know what you're going to find.
We do. We tell people if you go into one Goodwill, you've gone into one Goodwill.
Right. Well, I guess if there's maybe not enough of something at one store and there's a overflow of it somewhere else, you guys probably are able to shuffle that around a little bit, I'm sure.
They are, and there is a whole system to it, but we like for everyone to know that when they donate to the store, it's going out on those shelves, and so that's what's important to the person that's donating.
Yeah, it's staying local to where you are.
It's staying local in the community, yes.
So I've lived in a few areas around the country, and there are Goodwill stores located all over the place. Is Goodwill a national organization?
Goodwill Industries International is the largest nonprofit provider of training and employment programs for individuals with disabilities and disadvantages. However, all Goodwills are independent local organizations. We have our own local board of directors and are fiscally independent of one another.
Okay.
There are 162 independent Goodwill organizations in North America and Canada, but when you've seen one Goodwill, as I've said, you've seen one Goodwill. We all have different approaches to helping people get back to work and gain greater independence, and the benefit of the Goodwill model is by allowing us to be independent of one another, we can really focus on the needs of the local community.
That's great. Now, Goodwill, they're nonprofit, so this would allow people who donate, they can submit their receipt and get a tax deduction. Is that right?
That is correct, yes. Goodwill is a nonprofit 501c3 organization, so when you donate to Goodwill, you may be eligible for a tax deduction. Goodwill is not allowed by law to value your donations, but keep a list of what you donate and then go to your website, and we have a valuation guide for you to use.
So just as a reminder to everyone that's listening, tax season is coming up, so clean out your closets now and just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and whenever I've given to Goodwill, a lot of times I live out in Forest, but they have those kiosks, and they're really convenient for me to go to, and there's usually a nice person there, and they're like, hey, do you want a receipt for this stuff, So it's definitely good to make sure if that's something that you want to do to get that receipt. So we're talking about donating to local stores, and like I just mentioned, the drop-off centers. Besides those locations and in those capacities, what are some other ways that people can support Goodwill?
I'm glad you asked. In addition to donating your clothing and household items, Goodwill also depends on financial contributions to help fund job training and the employment programs. Volunteers are also a crucial part of what we do. Volunteers often help with reality check events we host in the Lynchburg area. These are one-day events in local schools that help students understand the value of education on the life that they envision for themselves in the future. They start the day with a paycheck and then have to go through a month of bill paying based on decision they make, such as what type of car to buy, how many children and pets they have, etc. It's really a great way to get involved, but of course we also appreciate greatly people who will organize donation drives for us. That's huge. Whether it be at your school, work, or church, it's a great way to give back to your community.
And I I used to, I don't know if you know this about me, but I used to work at Heritage High School for 3 years. I was there and I loved it. And they would do this with the students. So the students would go down to the library and they would have like, oh man, I got lawyer, or I got whatever, I got something, totally that I didn't even want. And they had how much they made. They had to go pay their rent and they were like, oh man, I got all this money. And then they had to, by the end, oh, do you have a girlfriend? Well, you got no money left, right? So they had all these things that they had to do. And it's really cool because I got to see, man, it takes a lot of money to live. And I need to start thinking about what I want to do and how I'm going to live. And I think a lot of them got a lot of value about they would always be talking about it in the lunch, in the cafeteria and stuff like that afterwards. So I think it was a really, really good day for them. And it was something that I had never done, but it was really good for the kids.
So it's kind of like the board game Life, except realistic.
It is. And Goodwill Reality Checks, we work in the middle schools as well. So we start out at that level, teaching them about what a paycheck is and how to get a great career to get that amount of money they want to take care of all their needs.
Yeah, I think you need to do it at the college level as well.
and afterwards, right?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
One day we'll figure out what we want to be. So, if someone's out here, they're listening to the podcast, they hear and they say, oh, that program, that could really work for me or work for, so-and-so. What do they need to do to kind of find out more about this?
Well, our website, www.goodwillvalleys.com, is a great tool. We have information on free events such as computer classes, job readiness classes, job fairs, and more. There is also information on all of our different programs. We also have an office in Madison Heights next to the Lowe's, and we encourage individuals to stop by and learn more about how Goodwill can help them reach their employment goals and gain greater independence, or if they want to find out how they can assist through volunteerism. And remember, when you donate and shop at Goodwill, we are able to provide job training and employment services to individuals right here in the Lynchburg area that need help getting back to work and gaining greater independence.
It's really great to know that when you are donating locally and you're donating to a nonprofit, with the money that you're going to give and the things you're going to donate are going to go to people that need help in your community. So it's really encouraging. As we think about Thanksgiving, the holidays are upon us and people are beginning to think about ways to give back to their community. We actually just did 10 things to be thankful about. We've done blogs about ways to give back, and Goodwill has been on there. So if someone was interested in making a financial gift, if they're interested in volunteering or hosting a donation drive event that you mentioned, where can they find out more information?
Our website, again, is truly a great source of information for everything Goodwill. All the information is there under the donate section of our website. Again, www.goodwillvalleys.com, or they can visit the shop page and find their nearest Goodwill store and do some treasure hunting.
So that's great. And I just want to thank you so much, Treney, for coming onto the program. Kind of really summarizes it. So, the stores are there and they're a part of it, but really that is just a funding mechanism to do all these great services. And there's so many more that we didn't even talk about today. There's so many things that Goodwill does from the youth all the way up to the seniors. So I think that's excellent. Again, if you are listening and you want to learn more about Goodwill and all that they're doing for the people in our community through training and employment and all the programs they offer, please go to www.goodwillvalleys.com for more information. Every episode, we like to ask our guests a couple of questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready, I think.
All right. You are a Lynchburg native, and you're actually the vice mayor of Lynchburg as well. So I didn't get into that too much.
Do I have to call you Your Honor? Is that
no,
did I make a mistake?
No, Treney will be fine. That's fine.
Now, you've lived here your whole life. I mean, you went away. You were in the Navy a little bit as well. Yes. So you left and came back. Now, what are some of the interesting things about Lynchburg that you've encountered makes it special?
Well, I think that for me, we're known as the city of seven hills, which people tend to tie the geography of the city if you've ever driven and walked around. But the seven hills are actual neighborhoods of our city, which each have their own great historical information and architectural traits, as well as that cultural richness that you find in cities when you visit neighborhoods. So I always encourage new residents and visitors to kind of go out and explore Lynchburg. And sort of a quirky thing that I think is interesting activity is to stop and read the many historical markers placed in our neighborhoods. We offer such a rich history that if you don't take time to read about it and to understand how the history ties into the development of neighborhoods, then you're kind of missing out. So between that and what I like to say is an eclectic mix of Southern charm with an up-and-coming, trendy infusion of cool artistic scenes through art, music, and theater. So that's kind of what I like to do, is take advantage of what's the happening going on now type of thing.
But yeah, Lynchburg is definitely a unique place.
It is good. I think when you have an old city, we're one of the first 9 cities in Virginia, so our infrastructure is very old, but we have a lot of people that take interest in reinvesting in our downtown and our neighborhoods, and so the city made a great decision years ago to invest in the downtown area in particular, and once they started making those infrastructure investments, and developers who decided early, we want to see this resurgence down here, and so people are doing it, and they are buying those 250-year-old houses or and older type of structures and renovating them and repurposing them and finding new opportunities.
Yeah, and you had mentioned all the markers all around the city, and my wife makes fun of me because when we go other places, I'm always stopping and reading the whole thing from start to finish, and she's like, "What are you doing?" But I really love to see like all that history. I really enjoy that, and Lynchburg has a lot of history. So I would encourage people that are listening to the podcast, if you've not gone downtown, if you've not gotten to know your city, which I think happens sometimes. People are busy. They may live out in other parts of the city. Try to explore. Take a Saturday. Explore the city. There's so much to do. There's so much to learn about Lynchburg, and you can rediscover it again and again. So
yeah, we were downtown this morning, actually, Ray and I, and just the infrastructure investment is huge, and you can see it everywhere, growing every year.
You mentioned that Lynchburg is really spearheading that. They're wanting to give incentives and things like that to businesses. So us being a small business owner, we're really trying to be involved in the community and talk to other business owners and say, hey, how can we continue to grow? How can we continue to make Lynchburg a great place?
And I think that's the best thing, is having those voices come to the table, or I tell everyone, go talk to our department heads, our economic development authority. There's so many resources and opportunities, and it just takes conversations and understanding how to make it work for what your goals are.
It's just so many things happening. I came here about 12, 13 years ago the first time, and just imagining it then in my head compared to now, just so much progress.
Yes.
And that's why we created newinlynchburg.com, so we can have everything in one place. Everybody can find all the cool things that are going on right there on our website. So speaking of things to do, what are some of your favorite things to do when you're here in Lynchburg?
I'm really an arts person. I like the plays and the musical groups and the artist shows that are happening in different venues. There are a lot. Our growing offering, what I call of local homegrown restaurants, is great. I like to eat. So
you're in good company.
I do.
And it's not just the chains, right? It's a lot of great restaurants.
Yeah, a lot of individual small business owners and just things that are unique to us.
All right, what's your favorite type of food?
I have to say Italian.
Okay.
But, I venture out. Pretty much, once I find something I like, I stick with it. But I like to try it in different areas and kind of different renditions of having individual chef takes on it, if you will. And then we have, some awesome walking and biking trails in Lynchburg. So getting out there and getting a good walk in, fresh air. And then I tell everyone our Parks and Recreation is amazing with all of the offerings that they have, utilizing those trails, our parks for programming. And so it's really cool, whether you're an older person looking for some pickleball or a young person.
All right, what is pickleball? I got to interrupt you there.
Well, I can't say because I can't play pickleball, but it's becoming a trend amongst some of the senior communities. And
I've never even heard of it.
Pickleball is viral. It's going viral with the seniors.
Pickleball is going viral. And then there's bubble soccer. I know you know what bubble soccer is. So that's cool. And then just to be in a place where there are introductory yoga events in the park and family movie nights. And
they're doing like yoga at like the community markets and stuff nowadays. It's like a thing.
Exactly. And so that to me, it just takes folks with vision, partnering with the local businesses and the local organizations that offer activities, and seeing how we can kind of immerse that in the quality of life for us all in the community.
Yeah, that's good. I really like the bike trail. My kids just recently decided they wanted to ride bicycles without training wheels.
Oh, very good.
So they got shamed by a 4-year-old that could ride without training wheels, and they're 7 and 9, and they're like, oh, and they just did it. They just started doing it. So I got a bike rack for the back, and we're going to head down there. If you have not been down to the Blackwater Creek Trail and go to that Percival's Island and all in that area, definitely check it out. Take your kids. It's nice and flat. It's a good area for the little ones, and there's hiking and fishing and all kinds of stuff all around there.
And you can take a picture at the love sign.
Exactly. Everyone does it. But
and just as long as you hashtag New in Lynchburg, you can do that.
We shared a little bit at the beginning some of our favorite Thanksgiving, memories. So I have a whole lot more that I didn't share for good reason. But what are some of your favorite Thanksgiving or holiday memories?
You made me think when you all were talking and I was listening. Every year when I was little, we went to visit family in D.C. So we had Thanksgiving Day dinner in D.C. and then some of my cousins, they were older than I, so we would go hop the train or hop the bus and go downtown D.C. And so we would either do some shopping or just go on the monuments and just walk around. And just as a kid and doing that through my teenage years, I always looked forward to that because it was just D.C. There was an allure. There was just this excitement going on. And so I always look forward to Thanksgiving. Eating with the family was important, so we did that.
Right, do you like turkey? Because Ray over here,
I love turkey.
That's not true.
I love turkey.
Go back and listen to the beginning. I didn't say I didn't like turkey.
And all the sides that come with it. So,
all right, what's your favorite?
I like potato salad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, potato salad.
Now, some people do kind of the sweeter potato salad. Are you the sweeter or are you more the salty?
I'm the sweeter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the sweet. It's a Southern thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Treney, for joining us on the New Lynchburg podcast today. We found out today that Goodwill has so much more to offer our community than just their stores. We hoped that this episode, to anyone that's listening, that gave you a lot of valuable information. So thanks so much today.
And thank you. And from Goodwill, I'd like to thank New in Lynchburg for allowing us to come on and talk today.
No problem.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, Ray, what are some of the events that are coming up in Lynchburg this week?
I'm going to highlight a really important one, and it's the Mistletoe Market, and that's at the Lynchburg Community Market. And it is November 25th, so on Saturday, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and it's Small Business Saturday. So they're going to have a lot of different events at the community market, and it's called the Mistletoe Market because of the holiday season. But they're going to have a whole bunch of things going on. They're going to have handcrafted gifts that you can have purchased for your loved ones. We're going to be celebrating the season with fun family activities, tasting holiday treats and food that are going to be there from the vendors, seasonal produce and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be happening at the Lynchburg Community Market, downtown Lynchburg. It's the Mistletoe Market. Don't miss it on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that's what we've got going on for events. Now, what new content do we have coming up on the site?
All right, we've got a couple new things. One, you just released that Things to Be Thankful For blog.
Right.
So if you haven't seen that yet, check that out. But a really big thing we've got in the works is the Christmas guide, and that is coming imminently. So definitely be on the lookout for that. What's going to be in our Christmas guide?
I mean, we've been spending a lot of time on the Christmas guide, and it's been released the 29th of November. We've got everywhere Santa's going to be. So we have a Santa finder. He's going to be a lot of places. So you want to make sure before Christmas, Santa finder. We have the Christmas tree finder, so anywhere you can buy Christmas trees. We've got a lot of great blogs, trendy gift ideas, traveling tips, all the holiday and Christmas events. And we also have a really cool thing. It's going to be specific local gifts that you can buy and great gift ideas from local businesses that are around. So
yeah, local shopping options that way, and a little more thought goes into it, and it keeps the money local.
Yeah, exactly. And we're also I'm really excited. We're having our New in Lynchburg top 10 picks for Christmas songs and Christmas movies. So I've already picked mine. So you guys, I'm sure you'll agree with me.
I've got to think of my favorite song.
So yeah, I already got that down. So we've got a lot of things coming up. But now let's talk about Josh's favorite part of the show, and that is the dad joke of the week. So I haven't heard this yet, so I'm looking forward. What is the dad joke of the week?
All right, I need you to look over at me, okay? This is part of the joke. So take your hand. If you look at your hand and you measure from your pinky to the end of your thumb, like how big that is, okay? And everyone's hand's a different size. Why is that physically impossible to be 12 inches?
I don't know.
Because it would be a foot.
Instead of a hand.
Yes.
I got it.
That was not the reaction that I was hoping for, Ray. Okay.
It wasn't my favorite one.
All right. We're going to do a different one.
No.
Yeah, no, we're doing it. I'm looking at a website right now. This is a good fall one. Are you ready? Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
Why?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
That is actually good. I like that one. Because it's not just outstanding, but he's outstanding in his field. That's good. This episode has been sponsored by newinlynchburg.com, your source for all things Lynchburg. If you're looking for upcoming events, local deals, things to do all in the Lynchburg area, make sure you check out newinlynchburg.com.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the New in Lynchburg podcast. Thank you for listening to another episode of the New in Lynchburg podcast. Visit newinlynchburg.com for more episodes. If you want to stay up to date with what's going on in Lynchburg, then sign up for our free weekly newsletter at newinlynchburg.com/subscribe or follow us on Instagram at New in Lynchburg. You can also check us out at Facebook, facebook.com/New in Lynchburg. We will see you next week for another episode of the New in Lynchburg podcast.